Hello and welcome back to Bookish. Today I wanted to do a tag. It's Tag Tuesday, and I've been letting my tags kind of pile up the last week. I found out something in April and it has to do with videos and reading, and it simply comes down to the more videos I make, it seems like the less books I get read. So I'm trying to do a little more reading and maybe a few fewer videos. Anyway, I was tagged by Shawn the Book Maniac. Just a great guy. I love his channel so much. I love hearing him talk about books. But I was tagged to do an original tag by him, which is called 2 Books with 1 Stone tag, which I think he did. Yeah, he did more than a week ago. So I'm kind of a little late getting into this one, but it seemed like kind of a fun tag, and it lets me do something that I really like doing, and that is to kind of shout out some other booktubers. So I'm going to get right into it. I have the questions here. Oh my goodness. I have the questions here on my phone, which I just skipped through like 20 pictures on my phone. So here's question number 1. What's the second to last book you read? The second to last book I read was Sing Unburied Sing by Jesmyn Ward, and I really liked it a lot. This will not be the last time we see this book in this video today. The second book from the top of your TBR. The second book from the top of my TBR is this book, Fault Lines. It's a book about American history since 1974 by Kevin Cruz and Julian E. Zelizer, which I'm hoping to get to this month. Question number 3, 2 2-star reads. I only really pulled one from the shelf, and that was Juno Barnes's Nightwood, which I read and reviewed earlier this year. There's another question about DNFing books or wishing DNF books. I'm glad I didn't DNF this. I'm glad I finished it, but it really didn't work for me particularly well. I'm going to go ahead then and commit BookTube blasphemy by saying that Kazuo Ishiguro's Never Let Me Go was also a 2-star read for me. I think I might have given this one, if I gave stars, 3 stars when I initially read it, but the longer I think about it, the more really kind of disappointing it is to me, and I realize that there are lots of people on BookTube, some of whom I'm pretty good friends with, for whom this book is really good and important to them, and it just missed me, and I don't know exactly why. I have a review of it in which I discussed it, but I really just didn't care for it very much, and unlike normal, the longer I go, the less I seem to appreciate what it was. Question 4 is 2 great books by the same author. So I saw a video over on Marc Nash's channel in which he discussed The Emigrants by W.G. Sebald. And so I wanted to mention 2 books by him that I've read, which I think are great, and which don't get mentioned a lot. One is Austerlitz, which I actually mentioned in a video not too long ago. But then when I was talking and thinking about Marc's review of The Emigrants, I just thought about remembered a book that just kind of blew me away by Sebald, and that's called The Rings of Saturn. This is one of those books, as a matter of fact, Marc asked me kind of what this was about, and I'll try to get back to you in a comment about it, Marc, here in a little bit. But this is a book where, you know, what it's about just feels like it's about so much, and it feels like that you pick up on the clues about all the meaning and what it's about slowly, but it's a pretty remarkable book. So those would be 2 books by one author that I think are great, W.G. Sebald's The Rings of Saturn and Austerlitz. Let's see, question 5, 2 bails or books you wish you'd bailed on. I don't bail on books very often. I don't consider it bailing if I don't get past page 50. Page 50 is my mark for when I know if I'm going to keep reading a book or not. It may seem like a low number to some people, or one way or the other, but if I get to page 50 and I just know that's not the book for me, I'd usually just put it down. I don't even consider that bailing because I wasn't really far enough into it. But 2 books I kind of wish I'd bailed on. Canada by Richard Ford. Richard Ford. He is I'm going to call him a skilled craftsman, a good writer. I just didn't particularly care for this story. I didn't really care that much about the characters, and I didn't find it even really all that believable as it goes. So that would be one. And then probably one book that I wish I'd bailed on more than any other book is The Naked and the Dead by Norman Mailer. I forced my way through this. I didn't really enjoy it. This book weighs in around 700 pages in the edition I have it, and I guess I felt some obligation to read it, kind of because it's sort of an American classic of sorts, and I kind of wish I'd just DNF'd it. I would have been just as happy not to have finished it now that I think about it. Let's see. Two favorite reads so far this year. Well, this is where Jesmyn Ward is going to make an appearance again. So I'm going to say Sing Unburied Sing by Jesmyn Ward is definitely one of my favorite reads of the year so far. And then I think my favorite read of the year so far is If Beale Street Could Talk by James Baldwin. James Baldwin is the new kind of author crush I have. I'm going to parcel out his books so I don't read them all at once, but I'll probably read In Another Country this year too. So this book was just so great, and I love James Baldwin so much. Let's see. Two new favorite booktubers. This is the thing I like about this tag so much. So my two new favorite booktubers I want to mention are Marian Ryan. That's the name of her channel, and I'll certainly leave a link down below. She's a really interesting person, and she's a writer. And I just find all her videos to be really interesting, and her to be a fairly compelling booktuber. And then another new booktuber, I don't know how new he is, but his channel is called Supposedly Fun. I'm sorry, I don't remember your name, and I feel bad. And I forgot to look it up. That's just really unforgivable. But Supposedly Fun, he does a whole lot of book reviews, a lot of great stuff. His videos are really good. He's very interesting. He's very articulate, and I really just have been enjoying his channel a lot lately. So those are my two new favorite BookTube channels. Let's see. Prompt number 8 was a book you've read twice. I'm doing this just to, on the off chance that Steve Donahue or the fellas at Strip Cover Lit watch my channel and watch this video. I'm just going to say I'm picking Cormac McCarthy. I reread Blood Meridian as a part of the read-along that Amy at Amy Gets Lit did, which is called WTF Did I Just Read? By the way, I kind of borrowed the name for my Juna Barnes video from her, but I reread Blood Meridian as a part of that. And if you haven't checked out Amy's channel, just let me encourage you to go over there and look at her stuff too, because man, does she do some great stuff. She has some really cool original tags, which I'm sorry to say I've been meaning to do but haven't done, but she also does some really great stuff in terms of reviews and read-alongs and things like that. And she's just really interesting, and I like her channel. So the next one is 2 fabulous quotes from books you've read this year. This is hard for me. I'd be honest with you. I'm not a harvester of quotes from books. I don't know why that is. I know Jason at Old Blues Chapter and Verse keeps a book in which he writes down quotes that he finds in literature, and for whatever reason, that's not ever really just been me. But I thought, you know what I'll do instead is I'll read 2 quotes, kind of chosen randomly, from Stephen Markley's Ohio, which I'm hopefully going to finish tonight or tomorrow and have a review up later in the week. I just thought I'd read 2 random quotes from it without any really kind of editorializing about the writing itself, just to kind of give you a sample of his writing style. So here's quote number 1. Can I help you? The waitress appeared, and she stuffed the phone back in her purse and slid her dollar across the counter. Just 4 quarters. She was older, gray hair and a haggard, drooping face, skeins of weariness embedded in deep wrinkles. She click-clacked away at the register until it popped open. Scooping out the quarter, she nodded at Stacy's arm. That's a nifty tattoo. Thank you. What's it mean? It's from a poem. The cursive script ran up the inside of her forearm from the spot where the Romans put the nails in Jesus' wrist to the short of the elbow pit. All dreams of the soul end in a beautiful man's or woman's body, the waitress read. Sexy. I thought so. It's Yeats. Can't say I know that one. Have you ever read John Hardy? No, I haven't. While hollering and breathing so long, so deep, memory came on and dove down to my sleep, dreaming this memory of space all around. Silence becomes breath, becomes the thought, becomes sound. She winked. Look him up. Shit. And she was filled with a sensation of interconnection, of deep time, and of the myriad notions of wonder it promised. I will. The waitress hoisted a coffee pot and walked away. Okay, so I thought that there was some interesting prose there in that quote. And so a second quote from Ohio by Stephen Markley. This one much shorter, I believe. Jonah Hansen had gone seriously bald. A PacSun hat tilted back on his head, the bill nearly vertical. The visible follicles looked so thin, each like a pore with a blackhead. To compensate, he now had a chin-strap beard outlining the contours of his jaw. He was drinking with Todd Beaufort, also baseball-capped and battered. Sun-fed face with the slaughterhouse smell to him, looking depleted and fat under his Buckeyes hat. So those are my two quotes, both from Ohio by Stephen Markley, which I hope to be reviewing sometime soon. And then prompt number 10 said to tag a number of booktubers, the total must be divisible by 2. Well, math's never been a strong suit for me, so I'm just going to do 2 booktubers. I'm going to tag Alex Black, and that's the name of her channel, and I'm going to tag Shay. Both of these people have really fine channels, and they're very interesting. And they don't necessarily always read the same books I read, but I really just enjoy watching their videos for their personality and their take on things. Alex Black, because she's a young person, and I enjoy the young person's that kind of youthful enthusiasm, and Shay just because he's quirky and funny and you know, I think incredibly deep in his thinking. Anyway, check out their channels, and you too, you've now been tagged, so I hope to see you do this video soon. Anyway, I look forward to seeing your comments in the comment section below, and as always, thank you for watching.